What's up, YouTube? So here we have all of the parts of the scooter pretty much ready for final sanding and prep for priming and paint. I did get my paint. If you follow me on Instagram at all, you already know the color. There's a little smudge of the color right there. That's the blue. Sort of a pearlescent metallic. This much of the can was aluminum powder that was all hardened on the bottom. This can is only about 2/3 full. The activator will actually, it's a 3-to-1. So this makes 1 gallon total. I should be able to spray that out. It's a single stage urethane. So you just spray it on. You can color sand it when you're done, polish it up, and it's good to go. I don't think you guys saw this when I had initially started doing the body work, but I will put up a few pictures, maybe here and here and here, of some of the stages of how I got the body work done on it. Basically, it's all just been straight up Bondo sanding. I did use some quick steel for this area right here. This was pretty badly cracked through here. Actually, I can show you on the back side. So I had to use some quick steel to get it to bond up. It's pretty ugly. I might have to hack out some of that with a Dremel tool, but that was as best as I could do. I don't think it'll interfere with anything behind it, but as you can see, I did start priming up some of the damaged areas. So this is a high build Sandable filler primer, which is what you want to use when you have a lot of fine cracks and you have some, body damage that Bondo just can't get into. So I did some high build here. This is all sanded with 80 grit now. I have to take it down to probably 400 grit before I go and do the final coat of, or start doing the initial coats of primer. So this side was where all the gouges were. There was a large crack right underneath that hole in the fairing. That's all fixed up. There was actually a large chunk missing right here. You can still see some divots in the Bondo, so I need to go back and fill that with some body filler. But this whole section right here was missing. It was actually cut down to probably about the tip of my finger. It was all gone. So that's all rebuilt. This section up here was pretty well cracked up. So it's all smoothed out. All the edges all smoothed out, and a little nick right there I gotta take care of. So I've been putting the tabs from the original fairing into the new fairing. And what I did was I basically, let's see if I snapped it off as best as I could, as close as possible to the body on that side. And this one here I snapped off, and the other one was actually inside one of the bits that came off of that big chunk down there that used to be there. So I kind of cobbled them together, and what I did was I used this all-purpose cement. It has to be good for ABS. Regular PVC, CPVC pipe cement will not work. It has to be ABS. Otherwise it actually won't act as a solvent and melt the plastic to bond the pieces together. I actually tried it with some of the gray PVC cement, and it wouldn't even touch the plastic. It peeled right off on one of these junk pieces. That's actually the piece I used as a donor right there. You see that little angle that was cut out of there? That's actually the angle inside of this one. Come on. Jeez. I was having such a hard time focusing. There we go. So what I did was I used the ABS cement to actually hold it there and get it so it locks in. There was a little hole in the bottom, so I used quick steel, which is it's like this pasty stuff. It's this 2-part paste. I used that to seal around the entire outside of it. And then what I did was I used, where is it? I hate how I just use something and then it's lost and gone forever. There it is. Jeez, I really gotta clean this workshop up. Gorilla Glue epoxy, 5-minute epoxy, but I used it with this. This is all the Bondo sanding and paint sanding remnants from the sanding. It's all the chaff that came off. So I took that, and I actually, I don't know if my cardboard is here, but it doesn't look like it is, of course, unless it's stuck to something. But I took it and I mixed it up together to make kind of this heavy paste, and that's what the pink stuff is that paste. So I use that to kind of fill in the cracks where the quick steel wouldn't get. So I filled in the entire thing there, filled in the top, back, the bottom, filled in this one, all the sides, bottom, top, side, and actually filled around a crack that was around this part and a little hole that was up here. And then I started touching up some of the outside. So I got some more glazing putty on the outside to kind of clean up where there was some pits in the original Bondo job. So after that's sanded down, I can give it another coat of filler primer, and you know, I've had this on for maybe 5 minutes. It's on there. It's not coming off. So I'm pretty happy with the result of that. Just like the other side. And this side, this is completely lost, this original piece. This is from another area. This is from that upper area. So it's actually, this is actually one of these. But the hole's lined up right, and it's, if you look at it, I mean, they're pretty much dead on. I'm not too worried about it. Alright, so last night I got these all in primer, and as you can see, there's still a lot of bleed through the original red on some of these red parts. The parts that were silver and gray, not too bad. You know, luckily enough, it's a pretty docile color to try and cover with white and gray. But I hit everything with white Sandable primer first, and this is a layer of primer filler, just to go over and be able to buff out any of the small scratches that are in there from sanding and prepping and getting all the body work done. As you can see here, there's, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a bunch of runs there where I did the body work on the back side. And the cowl came out great. There's a little run there. Covered up all my sins pretty well. Most of that stuff's going to be covered anyway by the blinker that goes in there, so I'm not too worried about it. But once I throw some color on it, it should be looking pretty good. Shadow. So yeah, not too bad. I got the cowl over here. And the rear rack all done up, ready to go. Time to get some color on it. Alright, so well, finally got to spray some paint. It's not too bad, a little orange peely, but I think I can buff most of that out. It's only slightly bad on a few pieces, but the majority of it came out very nice. Yeah, that color just looks crazy in the sunlight. It's a lot lighter than I thought it would be, probably because of the pearl. But you come inside, and under, these are fluorescent bulbs in these big old things. That's what it looks like under fluorescent light. A little bit darker. But, man, not too shabby. Not shabby at all.